So today we are going to start with a new chapter that is called the role of the substances. Okay, so what happened, every substance that is present in our environment is having a definite role or a function. Okay, so according to that, what we are going to learn in this chapter, that how each of the substances plays a vital role in our environment. Okay, so now what is the first? First we will start with a very basic thing that you have to learn, that is the element. Okay, so now what is element? Element is the substance which is having only one kind of atom. Okay, so if we go to the basic definition of the element, then what we have to say? We have to say that the element is a substance which is having only one kind of atom. Now what is atom? I think everybody is quite clear with that. What is atom? Atom is the most smallest part of the element. Okay, now next, percentage of element present in the earth crust. So now over here, the approx percentage of the element, I have chosen some of the common element that we come across in our daily life. So there are some of the elements that are present in the earth crust. We will learn about that. What is the percentage? First of all, oxygen. Everybody knows that oxygen is present in abundant amount. That is why we can breathe the oxygen. There are various sources of oxygen in our environment. Although the oxygen is present in abundant amount, but it is quite less than other gases. Okay, so 46.6% oxygen is present in the earth crust or in our environment. Next, carbon less than 1, and magnesium, that is 2.1%. So now all of these are approx. Why approx? Because it might happen that someday we find any other sources of this element, and in that case what will happen, the percentage will increase. Okay, next, the element in the human body. So now what are the basic elements that are present in our human body? Oxygen 61.42%, carbon 22.85%, nitrogen 2.57%, phosphorus 1.1%. Okay, so these are the things that are present in our human body. Okay, these are the elements that are present in our human body. Now next, organic and inorganic. Okay, so what is inorganic? Inorganic is basically the substances which are present in the earth crust, which we get from the earth crust. So what is the source of the inorganic? Inorganic is something, the earth crust shows an abundance. Okay, the substance in which is abundant amount of substances which are present in the earth crust. Okay, next, organic. Organic is what? The compound found within any living species are classified as the organic. So what is happening over here, that one of the living species, the component that we are extracting from that we are getting from the living species are called the organic. So how can we differentiate it? The substances which we are getting from the earth crust is called the inorganic, and the substances which are getting from the living species are called the organic. Clear? So we have finally distinguished it or classified it. Now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the various component of the body of a living organism. Okay, so now in order to learn that, what we have to learn first, that what is the amount present. Okay, so what is the amount present? First, the bulk element. These are also known as constituent element as well. In some of the books you will learn that. So the element that is present in the large amount. Okay, see, by the name only you can classify it in bulk. Okay, so element which is present in bulk or which is present in large amount is called the bulk element. Okay, so now what is the example of that? So the element which is present in the the element which is present in the large amount is called the bulk element. So what is the example of that? Example of that is calcium. Okay. Next, the element which is present in small amount. Okay, so element which is present in small amount is known as trace element. Okay, it's known as trace element, and example of that is zinc. Clear? Now we have differentiated it on the basis of the amount present. Now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn about the specific for the specific compound that plays a great role in our body. First and foremost is the water. Now water is present in the 70% of the body is constituted of approximately 70% of the body is constituted of the water. Okay, now this is one of the common thing. I think everybody, if you have seen any kind of, you will I think in the ads or advertisement of the water purifier, what you will learn, they basically use this term of 70% of water. So I think you are quite aware with that. Okay, now what are the function of the water in our body? First of all, it keeps our cell healthy. Okay, it keeps our cell healthy, it keeps our cell properly, the proper function of the cell, functioning of the cell is being continued or controlled by the water. Next, nutrient distribution. Okay, nutrient distribution is what? Now proper amount of nutrient is being distributed or is being sent to the different part of the body by whom? By the water. Waste elimination, the waste is being collected from the different parts of the body and it is being eliminated from the body by the means of the water. Temperature regulation, of course, the various temperature regulation, see, in many parts of the body there is a specific temperature required. Okay, so that you will learn in the higher classes as well. So our body runs in a definite temperature and that temperature is being regulated or being controlled by whom? By the water. Okay, next is what? Next is the lubrication of the joint. Okay, so joint is being lubricated or rather supported by the water. Okay, so now next we will learn about the role of the metal ion on the next part. Now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn the function or the role of the metal ions in our body. Okay, so now what is going to happen? So what is the role of the metal ion? The first is the iron. Now iron is present in the hemoglobin. Okay, so that is mostly that is the reason and where the hemoglobin is present, the hemoglobin is mostly present in the RBC. So because of the iron, the color is, of course, the color of the blood matters sometimes. Now next, the calcium is found in the bones and the teeth. Okay, so calcium is found in the bone and the teeth and it makes our bones and teeth stronger. Another one is sodium and potassium. Sodium and potassium are generally controlling the blood pressure and the blood volume. So volume of the blood and the pressure of controlling the blood pressure is generally controlled by the sodium and the potassium. So that is why whenever we have a high blood pressure, it is being advised to us to not to consume more amount of salt. Why? Because the salt is having the sodium in it. I hope you remember the formula of the salt. What is the formula of the salt? Means the common salt that we use, NaCl, so it is containing the sodium. Now next is what? Role of the carbohydrates, protein, fats and the nucleic acid. Okay, so what the carbohydrate does? Carbohydrate plays an important source of the metabolism. Now what is metabolism? Metabolism is the biochemical reaction. See, in our body as well, there is lots of chemical reactions are going on. Okay, so whenever a biological organism is having the chemical reaction in itself, then that is called what? Biochemical reaction. So this biochemical reaction is called the metabolism. Okay, so next is protein. Now protein is present in many enzymes as well as in the hemoglobin. Okay, another one, fat. Fat is also a major source of energy. Fat is a major source of energy. Nucleic acid. Nucleic acid is the genetic material. Okay, so nucleic acid is what? Nucleic acid is the genetic material. Now what is genetic material? So what happens generally, the even the RNA is having the nucleic acid. So what happens? What is the role of the genetic material? See, we look like our parents or we look like our relative who are who are related to us by the blood. Okay, why this happens? Because of the genetic material. Okay, so the information that is present in the information mean physical features or internal features, whatever is present in the body of the human being is present in the body of the human being is, one human being is being transferred to the another human being. How? It is being transferred by the genetic material. Okay, so I hope everybody is quite aware of the role of the genetic material. Next, acid and the bases. Okay, now what happens? See, what is acid? See, how can we classify acid? First, by the taste. Okay, what is the taste of the acid? Sour. And another term that comes with the acid is called the bases. What is the taste of the base? Bitter. Now, if this is the by the taste. Now if you are being asked that what is the basic main difference in the acid and bases. See, acid, whenever you will put the acid in the aqueous solution, then it will always generate H plus ion, and whenever you will put the base, I am so sorry what I have written. Okay, so whenever we will put the base in the aqueous solution, then it will always generate OH minus ion. Okay, so that is, by this we can form a definition as well. What will be the definition? The definition, what is acid? If you will be asked that define acid or what is acid, so you have to say the acid is a substance which generate H plus or what should I say, which forms which dissolutes produces H plus ion, okay, which produces H plus ion when it is being mixed into the aqueous solution. Similarly, for the base, the definition will be same. What will be the definition? Definition will be that the base is a substance which produces OH minus ion when it produces OH minus ion when it is being mixed with the aqueous solution. Okay, so generally the aqueous solution that we use is the water. Now what we are going to do, we are going to differentiate base and the acid. How we are going to differentiate? On the basis of the indicator. Okay, what is indicator? See, if we want to know, we have seen the traffic indicator. Okay, what happens in a traffic indicator? By the indication we have to understand that whether we have to stop or whether we should walk or we should cross the road, whatever indication that is being shown. Similarly, in the acid also, in order to differentiate the acid, what we have to do, we use the indicator. Okay, what do? We use the indicator. We show the distinct. So, what is if we are being asked that what are the indicator? Indicator shows the distinct in the distinct color. Okay, sorry, distinct color. Indicator shows the distinct color. When it shows the distinct color, it shows the distinct color in the acidic and the basic solution. Okay, now indicators can be of different types as well. Okay, indicators can be of different type. What are the different type? One is natural indicator, that is being made by the natural substances just like turmeric solution, and another one is what? Another one is the artificial or the indicator that are being mostly used in the laboratory. Now what happened in the pH scale, how we are going to do? See, in the pH scale. Now in the pH, there are two indicators that are mostly used in the laboratory. One is pH scale, another one is litmus paper. Now what is the pH scale? See, what is pH scale? pH scale is that whenever see, pH scale is having the different color panel. Okay, and you will be provided with a pH paper as well. So whenever you will dip the solution pH paper, so it will show the different color according to the color. You have to identify that which one is according to the color you have to identify that which one is acidic and which one is basic. Okay, if the count comes in between 0 to 7 means suppose it is 5. Okay, so now what you have to understand that the solution is acidic, but if the count comes suppose 8, okay, then what we have to understand, the solution is basic. Okay, now what happened, there is one thing, the basic and there is a differentiation in the basic and the alkali, okay, that we will learn in the next part. So these are the common thing. Now on the basis of the litmus paper, okay, suppose the 3 solutions are being given and all the 3 solutions are of the same color. Okay, now what you are being asked, you are being asked that you are being asked that whether the solution is acidic or basic or neutral. Okay, so how can we understand? Either we have to use the pH scale or we have to use the litmus paper. Okay, so when dipped in the acidic solution, blue turns red. So what happened, whenever the litmus paper is being dipped into the acidic solution, the blue litmus paper turns red. Similarly, what happens when it dipped into the basic solution, the red litmus paper, that means what, there will 2 colors litmus paper are being provided to you, and you have to understand that red litmus paper, whenever it turns blue, then it is the basic solution, and if there is no color change in either of the litmus paper, then what we have to understand that the particular thing is neutral, or rather the litmus paper cannot identify it. Okay, so we will learn about the basic and the alkali in the next part.
Subscribe. Click on the bell. Like, comment, share.